are today in Almeria. And we've actually just finished 2 appointments in Almeria, in the Almeria Foreigners Office, the Extranjería in Almeria, which I'm going to show you now as we drive past it. Okay, Morocco's, the Moroccan street. Let's go slowly here past the Extranjería. There you go, there's a Foreigners Office there. Just the camera. And off we go. I didn't actually manage to get a video on the way in, I'm afraid. Because I did get a video on the way in, but then I went the wrong way. And I was saying how much I knew where I was going on the video, and it turns out I got lost. Which is ridiculous, because I've been here quite a few times, but never mind. So I thought, let's do a video on the way out of Almeria and show you where you'll be going if you were going to Malaga. So there we go. Today, well, this video actually I would like to dedicate to one of my clients called Mr. Lane, who I've just been with. I know he watches the channel because he said that he watches my channel, and he also said that he watched my video driving the other day and he really enjoyed it. So this one's for you, and thanks for watching. I know a lot of time I can just ramble on about random things, but hey, if you grab some information out of it, then it's good. So, renewals in Almeria. We've just been to 4 renewal appointments. When I'm talking about renewals, I'm talking about non lucrative visas. So these are non lucrative visas which have clients with ours which we've now had. We helped them with the initial visa. I actually think Mr. Lane did your own one. I can't remember now. I haven't got my computer in front of me, but we do now. We're on a massive renewal surge now for all the people that we helped last year. We're coming to renewals, and it's great. We've done over nearly 100 renewals now. Here in Almeria, the renewals are taking a while to come out, normally 2 to 3 months to come out. The process, basically, when you're coming up to the end of your initial non-lucrative year, you have 60 days, either before the expiry of the card or up to 90 days to submit your application on a platform called Mercurio. Mercurio is the government platform of which you can submit all your documents. You can do that yourself using a digital certificate, or you can get somebody to do it on your behalf using their digital certificate if they're a legal representative, or you can actually present it in person at the immigration office, which I wouldn't suggest that you do, to be honest, because then they send letters out to tell you you're approved. Those letters could get lost in the post, albeit that if you see on the system that you are approved, you can go without that letter because they'll have it registered on the computer. The renewals for 24 months. Don't forget that when you come to register your renewal, you have to do everything like last time. Bring your passport, bring a new photo with you, bring your original TIE card, albeit here in Almeria they give you the card back, then you have to hand it in once the new one's ready, so you'll always keep your card on you. If you've changed your address, then you'll need to bring a padrón certificate with you to prove what your new address is. If your address is the same, then you don't have to bring the padrón certificate. Almeria is it's a huge office. It's massive, very open, very friendly. I have to say that I prefer the afternoon appointments here. We had a giggle this time again. The renewal appointments, once they've been approved, are very stress-free appointments. It's very rare that anything could go wrong with them. I'm quite cheeky because I spend a lot of time in the office, and then I pick and choose the appointments maybe that I want to do. which nice, gets me out of the office. So I do like to get out of the office now and then, but the renewal ones are great. On renewal, when you come to give your fingerprints, here's the difference between when you do your first time registration and when you do your renewal of your TIE. When you give your fingerprints, you only have to give one fingerprint from each index finger, and that's it. When you do your initial registration, you have to give a initial fingerprint, then you roll your finger to give them the full fingerprint, then you confirm that fingerprint, and then when you go to pick up your card, you have to confirm it again. Because you're only confirming, because it's a renewal, you only give one fingerprint. So that's good. Remember, the requirements for a renewal are that if you have to prove you've got healthcare in place, whether that's public healthcare using an S1. You won't have a convenio especial because you wouldn't have been here for more than 12 months. You can only apply for that once you've been here for 12 months. That would be after your renewal. Or private healthcare, you would have to have renewed your policy. It's always advisable to make sure that the policy that you have says annually renewable on it. What we've noticed, actually, and it hasn't been a problem so far with the renewals, is that when people have done their initial NLV applications, they've had a year policy. Then when they've come to renew, what the companies like you to do is they like you to renew until the end of the year, then put you on an annual renewal basis from the 1st of January. That's how the health insurance normally works here. If you were, say, a Spaniard or somebody who already lives here gets private health insurance, they would normally pro-rata you to the end of the year and then renew for the full year. Companies adapted to the NLV requirements of the consulates, because they require 12 months to cover you for the period of your residency, because obviously it's a good way of them selling policies. But then they try and push you back into their normal renewal period, which isn't a problem as long as your certificate states annually renewable. Well, we haven't come across problems yet with that. Again, we also haven't had problems with people switching their policies to monthly payments. A lot of our clients have stayed on the lump sum, paid to the end of the year, then paid the full year. Some have switched to monthly. We haven't had problems with that yet. Though I always advise, if you can, just pay it, because it becomes a bit messy if the immigration come back to us and say we want to see the full policy paid. You've got to pay it anyway, so you might as well. So there we go. We just left the centre of Almeria, putting on now to the A7. What else have I got to say about the renewals before I start waffling on in the car? We are now, what's the date today? The 26th, I think it is, 27th of April. And our clients here in Almeria, they were given their pickup appointments already, exactly 40 days after after today's appointment. And they actually get given them here on the day. That's not always the case. It depends which office you go to. It's not always the case. So a lot of offices don't give you the appointments. You have to book them yourself on the immigration platform, on the booking system. And some are just turn up. Some offices you just turn up, and others, as I said, give them to you at the time of the appointment. Generally 40 days, though we've seen it come in a little bit quicker lately. We recently had one client who we booked the appointment, actually it was for the 44th day, and he went and actually checked his number, and it was already in after 30 days, which, had to be honest, irritated him quite a bit, which I understand, because we probably could have booked an appointment to get it earlier, but the advice is 40 days, and we book it between 40 and 50 days, so there you go. But we try our best to book the appointments as close as possible to the 40 days. There we So very arid, this part of Almeria. So we're now travelling from west to east on the A7, which bypasses Almeria city. Great city to visit. Brilliant place to visit. Go get yourself somewhere in the centre of Almeria. It's fantastic. There's a very Moroccan influence in a lot of parts of Almeria. You'll find a lot of Moroccan shops and stuff. Get yourself stuck in there. Some great spices and food. And what I really wanted to do was just take you on a little trip from Almeria city, and we're actually going to Roquetas, believe it or not, because I'm not going home this evening. It's bank holiday weekend, so I'm going to go and meet the family and some friends in Roquetas, which is a very family orientated holiday destination. Quite cheap, to be honest. With all of the holiday coastal towns in Andalusia, I'd say Roquetas was definitely up there with some of the cheapest ones. A lot of Spanish tourism. It's a great bit of advice. If you can find where the Spanish go on holiday and when they go on holiday, you'll always find that it's more economical, it's more reasonable than when foreign tourists visit places and times of the year. What I mean by that is that a Spanish holidaymaker is actually quite demanding. Evidently, they're in their country. They live by the economy in the country. Spanish wages aren't as good as some other countries that then visit Spain and take advantage of the lower prices. So a Spanish tourist on holiday would pretty much expect the same prices that they're getting, at home, or a little bit more expensive. And it's a great way of finding cheap deals, if I was to be honest. So here, for example, in Roquetas, we're now in the May bank holiday. The Puente, they call it. A bank holiday is a Puente, means bridge. So basically, you bridge at the weekend, and you're being cheeky and having the Monday as well. So some cracking deals for this place, Roquetas. And when we arrived today, I arrived to drop the family off before I went to work. They said they just opened the hotel for the Puente. It'll stay open for the whole of the season. And my wife actually texted me when I was at work and said a pizza, a hot dog, and a couple of beers was €10. She said that's definitely not like other hotels that we've been. It's supposed to be a 4-star hotel. It's very, very nice, I have to say, very, very nice. And I'm pretty sure those prices won't stay for the foreign tourist season. This weekend is very typical of Spanish families to go away on holiday for this Puente. It's like a pre-summer bank holiday weekend. So there you go. I wouldn't say though, if you're just a couple, maybe a retired couple without children, I wouldn't say that Roquetas is the best place to go. What I would say is here, we're going to be going past it very soon. There's a coastal town called Agua Dulce, which again is sweet water, translated Agua Dulce. There's a lot of families, sort of hotels, but nestled in the mountains behind Agua Dulce, but part of the municipality. There's a golf resort, and even if you don't play golf, there's a lovely hotel up there, very reasonable on bookings for the type of hotel it is. And it's got a spa. They do half board. There's a couple of restaurants close by, and that would be more of a couple's retreat, and you can nip down to the coast, have a walk along the beach, and probably go back up. Rather than, if you've got a family, then check out Roquetas, because there's lots of money chewing video game places, very typical tacky shops where you can buy your flip-flops. I haven't seen any donkeys yet. Dying to get a donkey, I haven't got one. They're the little straw donkeys, remember those? But generally the hotels are kitted out for your families, basically. And not very relaxing. If the hotel I'm going to this evening is going to be jumping but screaming. You know, there's at least 2 kids for every couple or more. There's mini club, there's the pool with the slides, there's the plastic glasses in the bar. You know, so it's not, if that's what you need, that's what we need. We've got a 6 and a 9-year-old. You know, we can go to a golf resort, they'd be bored silly, but yeah, if that's what you need at that time of your life, brilliant. Roquetas is great. If not, Agua Dulce, here we go, 798. You can turn off there, you can head down to the coast or up to the mountains. If I remember, I'll put the link to the resort I found. Another good thing to do if you're coming to Spain and you're moving in, you're living here, and you fancy weekends. There's lots of websites where you can book holidays on, but we've always found, and we've done a lot of weekends and a lot of bits and bobs. We do like to get out and about. It's bookings. Bookings works really well in Spain. I don't know why it works so well, but if you do 15 bookings within 15, which could just be 15 one-nighters, doesn't have to be any length, within 2 years, you get to Genius Level 3, and you open all sorts of discounts there. And we've always found, we always phone the hotel directly so we can get it any cheaper, and we can never get it any cheaper. And bookings always seems to have the best deal and the best availability. Look out for the Genius deals. Definitely check if you're going to hotels the half board, full board options, because you'll find there is an awful lot of difference between half board and full board sometimes. If you're on Genius level, you'll get a free breakfast at times as well. So, and even if you live somewhere, you know, like Mojaca's behind us, come and research this side of Almeria. I have to say the west side, of Almeria is ugly. It's just all you've got is, apart from Roquetas, which is a holiday town, it's just greenhouses, which hopefully you might see actually if we carry on this video, or you might just see a traffic jam. Yeah. Doesn't matter which beautiful part of the world you're in. It's 6:30 in the evening. You're sat in a traffic jam. Okay? So yeah, Roquetas, apart from being a holiday town, it's actually a big town itself. I didn't research before I came on the video how many inhabitants it's got, but when we're driving down, you'll see how big it is. There's so much agriculture here, it's unbelievable. It's agriculture that you wouldn't believe, all in greenhouses. Plastic, when I say greenhouses, I don't mean your typical glass greenhouse with nice shutters. I mean plastic greenhouses. Hopefully you'll see, I'll try and move the camera so you can see. Just being very wary of all the cars around me. Trying to skip lanes. There we go. So Almeria west, so west of the city, is famous for its what they call invernaderos. It literally is from Almeria itself all the way to Montreal. It's about 100 kilometers. Acres and acres and acres of greenhouses. That's all there is. These greenhouses are made of plastic. They must be absolutely terrible for the environment. It's forced fruit growing, basically. That's what it is. Forced fruit growing. They can get 6 or 7 seasons out of it, apparently. Last time I was here, so I was talking to somebody who could have been talking rubbish, but they said they knew what they're talking about, and they were a Spaniard and they lived here. And I said, how many seasons do they get out of it? And they said 6 or 7. I was like, wow. So all year round, constant growing. Who knows what chemicals go into those greenhouses. There was a very good article about 10 years ago in The Guardian, believe it or not, about it. I wonder if I can dig that out. And a video as well, somewhere on YouTube about it as well. There A lot of the fruit and veg which ends up on the stores in the UK would come from here. Now I have to say, the tomatoes which come out of the greenhouses are tasteless. They're rubbish. I'm sorry to say it, but they are. I've had an allotment for years, and if you stick with the seasons, in theory, without a greenhouse, obviously this is commercial agriculture. They've got to get it in the ground, get it picked when it's green, send it in a lorry, and it ripens on the way. But if you have a garden here, or have an allotment, or have, you can grow tomatoes all year round as long as you stick to the right varieties. So there's varieties all year round here. You have summer varieties which are very hardy to the heat, winter varieties which are very similar to the ones you probably grow in the UK for the autumn and spring period, and then we actually have a winter one as well. So you have to watch for your varieties. Talk to somebody who knows. If you have got a garden where you can plant, what you want to do is find a vivero. A vivero is a vivero spelled V-I-V-E-R-O, that sells the plugs, the little plant plugs for the baby plants, and ask them about the seasons. Because I wasn't doing that when I started my little allotment journey here, and I got it all wrong. When I actually bothered to ask, they were like, well, you shouldn't be planting that now, you need to be planting that one now. I did say, well, why are you selling it then? But so yeah, definitely ask. So you can see here, probably, I don't know, these are all greenhouses. Look at it. There you go. All greenhouses. It's incredible. This just goes on. I mean, this a lot of people living here. Roquetas is huge, but it just goes on. Once you pass Roquetas, it goes on and on and on. Like I'm going on and on now. Just plastic everywhere. That plastic then, I'm sure, must just rot in the sun and end up in the sea. I don't know. There was a big thing about it last year. On the news. One of the towns, it was all washing up, and the fish eat it, and then we eat the plastic out of the fish. It's terrible, really. And then that's consumerism. I still go and buy my tomatoes, but we've not got any growing. So I'm afraid if you want your peppers and you want them quick, this is probably where they're coming from. But when you do move here, if you have got the luxury of having somewhere to try and grow stuff, then just have a go. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time now to attend to it, but over the years we've grown loads of stuff. Cauliflowers grow really well, but you have to plant them really, really, really early. So you have to be really careful with cauliflowers. I'm going to tell you this a cauliflower trick. If you plant them too late, because we don't have so much of a cold season here, then what happens is they don't flower quick enough, and suddenly spring hits and they just bolt, and you get this loads and loads of leaves, and it's really like funny looking cauliflower. You don't get like that compact sort of cauliflower you would expect. But then if you plant them too early before the winter, they bolt as well, because and then you just get very leafy, strangly plants. So you've got cauliflowers, I would say definitely end of November, get them in, then get the little bit of that last end of autumn, 2 months to plant gets strong, then just as it's getting warm, the flower just tightens up, and pick it around March, or even earlier. They go quick. Yeah. Courgettes, now courgettes just grow like maniacs here. They really do. You can literally have a courgette, go home, come back, and the next day it's a marrow. Not quite that bad, but it is like that in a week. So if you like courgettes, you can pretty much plant them anytime outside between February and June, you can just keep planting courgette plants, and I just keep throwing them out. They'll just keep growing. They're amazing. So easy to grow. Peppers. There's one called the Italian pepper. That's a typical green pointed pepper that you see. They grow again like you can actually, do you know, with the peppers, here's a good tip for the peppers. You can save the plants year on year, especially with chilies as well. If you can winter a chili, winter a pepper. So when it's finished and the leaves start dropping off, just cut them back and leave it. And then you'll find the following year when it's ready, it'll sprout new leaves and start fruiting again. After about 3 years, then it starts to get a bit ropey, the plant. You have to rip it out and start planting again. But I've had some chili plants as well, which have lasted for 3-4 years. If you're into your hot chilies, now that's amazing here, because the hot chilies grow really well. So your ghost chilies, your Trinidads, what's that one that we grew? We grew one which was called a Carolina Reaper. Actually got the seed from California, grew it, and it was stupid hot. Actually, it was too hot, really. So we ended up making sauce out of it. Because you couldn't really judge the Scoville scale on it was just hot. It's too hot. So put it in food and you really mess it up if you get it wrong. But yeah, if you're into your super chilies and you really really need to get the seeds in, I would say, now we've got some growing at the moment which are Caribbean chilies in a pot in the house, and then I'll replant them. And I planted them, so in April now. At the beginning of April, I planted them inside with a sunny spot, and they're now 4 weeks later, they're just at the point where we can put them in their individual pots, and they will start to fruit, I would imagine, around mid-June. It's always important to don't wait for the chilies to fully ripen on the plant. Just, you know, as soon as they look like they're more or less there, pull them off, because they'll kick out more chilies. If you let them fully ripen on the plant, then the plant gets very content and says, well, happy with the fruit I've got, really, thanks. You know, and then if you take the fruit off, the plant says, I've got to produce more fruit now, and you'll get more. What other plants can we waffle on about? Spring onions. Now, never been any good at spring onions. I don't know what I was doing wrong with my allotment, to be honest. All my neighbours, fantastic onions. You buy them as little plugs as well, or you can actually get them in these packs of 25 or 50 with rubber band around them. When you get them, you have to completely crop the tops. They're about 5 mil wide, and then just separate them as you put them in the ground. But mine never came to fruition, really. Like little pickled onions. I don't know why. I tried and tried. Kale grows amazingly here. It again keeps going up, take the leaves off the bottom, goes higher, and that can last a couple of years because there's no frost, so that's good. Broccoli, very similar to cauliflower, that grows well here. Your herbs, now perejil, which is parsley, cilantro is coriander. They grow amazingly well. They grow really well. Basil grows well here as well. There's this one which seems to be very popular in Spain called purple basil. If you can get a purple basil plant, then get one of those, because they also keep away the flies, apparently. Here we go. So it's really strange when you come into Roquetas, because you come out of this sort of desolate desert of plastic sheets into this like amazing sort of pretty avenue full of tourists. So there you go. There literally is one of the greenhouses there, and you go around the corner and there's your Mercadona. And then this beautiful, let's try palm tree avenue. So this is the Friday of the bank holiday weekend, but this Saturday is absolutely going to go wild. Tomorrow it's going to be, you won't be able to walk down here. But the main thing is the kids will love it, and we get to spend some time with them during the week. I'm afraid I don't get to see them a lot. So tomorrow morning we're on YouTooSpain talking about how to prove that you're retired for a NLV. So there you go. Right, well, I'm nearly at the hotel, so that was your little trip from Almeria to Roquetas. I think we're 20 odd minutes in, half an hour in it took to get back. Thanks for watching the channel. Let me rub it on again. It turns out that we're talking about plants in the end, which wasn't planned. But if you do want to start your own little allotment or garden at home, I'd really suggest you do. It's so much fun. Well, it is for me anyway, but it is. And stuff grows really quickly here, so you can really enjoy yourself. You don't have to wait for ages. Carrots. You seem to buy the most fabulous carrots here in Spain, but I've never been able to grow them very well. Only the little baby ones. I'm not too sure they were supposed to be baby ones though. Turnips. I did grow turnips one year for Christmas. Again, they ended up about a foot long, about a centimetre wide, so I don't know what happened there, but I had a go at it. What else have we grown? Ooh, spinach. Now spinach grows crazy here because it loves a good leaf. Spinach, lettuces and everything like that, they love it. Now, but again, you have to choose the right variety for the seasons. You can grow lettuce all year round here, but in the summer have to get summer varieties. If they're just bulk, they'll be flowering within a week. Spinach, the same. You can buy different varieties which are suitable for the different seasons. I wouldn't believe it, but apart from being on the wrong side of the road, sorry about that. This is a bit of Spanish parking for you. Okay, I did pull into the wrong side of the road to park, but never mind. That is allowed. I had my flickers on. We've found parking right in front of the hotel, so today must be my lucky day. But there we go. Thanks for watching. More videos to come soon.